Welcome back to the Saibamen news, guys. Today we have an edition based mainly around announcements from Bandai. There's been a couple of announcements, some that are really going to shake up the game in general, and I'm really keen to talk about them. First of all, let's look at the new starter deck cards that have just been released, or revealed, I should say. They look really cool. First of all, we have the Reboot Masked Saiyan deck. People love this starter deck. It's really cool to see a reboot of a starter deck. It just sets a kind of precedent that there may be more reboots in the future. Fingers crossed for Shenron Leader, that would be awesome. Masked Saiyan, obviously starter deck 16. He has an activate main, once per turn, burst 3, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. If a black card is placed in your drop area by the skill, it gains critical. If a non-black card is placed in the drop area by the skill, it gains plus 5,000. So, similar skill to the old card, but this one, obviously, you self-awaken with it, which is great, meaning you can run less self-awakeners, which you needed to run a lot of previously. When your life is 4 or less, you untap 1, draw 1, instead of a draw 2. Super Saiyan 3, Bardock Reborn from Darkness. I personally prefer the old leader art, but it's still cool to get a reboot. Obviously, they couldn't have made it the same, so that's fine. Auto, when this card attacks, draw 1 card. And another auto, once per turn, add 1 card from your life to your hand. When you remove a marker from one of your black unison cards using a Spirit Boost skill, switch this card to active mode and negate its keyword skills for the turn. So you get to attack again with it if you use Spirit Boost, which is really cool. Activate main to burst 3, same deal as the other side, obviously without taking a life. The second auto negates that critical, so what you want to be doing is using this first, the critical first, attacking, then restanding and attacking again, which won't be crit, but you'll still get the 5,000 boost, which is nice. The first starter deck exclusive card is Dark Masked King Spirit Resonance. It's a unison auto. If your leader card is a Black Saiyan only card, when this card is placed in your drop area from your deck by one of your skills, if you don't have a unison card in play, you may play this card from your drop area with the marker on it. So this is really interesting because it's the same or similar to the unison from the Vegex deck. This, when it's burst, it gets played, but only if your leader is a Black Saiyan only card, which helps a few different leaders like the Gogeta Zeno and things like that, although that goes to warp. They escape me now, but there are some that this works with, obviously the leader in the starter deck, and it doesn't work with Vegex, which is really nice. Auto, once per turn, when you remove a marker from this card using a Spirit Boost skill, your opponent chooses one of their battle cards with an energy cost of 1 or less and sends it to its owner's warp. So it's just some nice removal for small battle cards, which is really just an extra boost. It's not the best Spirit Boost unison we've seen so far, but it is decent. If your leader card is a Black Saiyan, you can +2 and choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. This card gets plus 4,000 power for the turn for each color in your energy. So you know you're playing multicolor with this, or multiple colors I should say, because of the leader skill, so it's really good. The next card is Dark Broly's Spirit Boost Berserker. This is a red card, but it also has a permanent that this card is also treated as black in all areas. So it's similar to the red Dark Broly from the Ultimate deck. It's unique. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 15,000 power for the turn. Really nice neg. It's got an activate main limit of 1, which means you can only activate it once across all copies of the card for the turn. Spirit Boost 1, 1 energy. If you have 3 or more energy and you send 1 red card and 1 blue card, 1 green card and 1 yellow card from your drop area to the warp, play this card from your drop area or warp and it gains critical for the turn. 1 energy is nice to get that out, a 30k crit that also negs something, but that's very specific cost. 1 red, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 yellow. So if you're playing it with this starter deck, there are a lot of different colors, but with other decks it might not be as easy. Masked Saiyan Spirit Boost Enigma, dual attack, unique. He's got an activate main. He's blue, obviously, 5 drop. His is limit 1 as well, spirit boost 1 as well, and 1 energy as well. If your leader card is... it doesn't show it properly here. Hold on. If your leader card is a Masked Saiyan or Bardock Zeno card, and you discard this card from your hand, your opponent may choose 1 card in their life and place it at the bottom of their deck. If they don't, you play this card from your drop area. So you either get a 15k dual attack for 1, or you bottom deck one of your opponent's life. Most of the time, probably 99% of the time, you're playing this card, depending on if your opponent has a way to defend the attacks. It might be a good late game card, which is very nice. And the final starter deck exclusive card in this starter deck is Black Masked Saiyan Spirit Boost Minion. If your leader card is a Masked Saiyan or a Bardock Zeno, treat this card in your hand as if it had no specified cost. So it's a 1 cost yellow card, but it would be a 1 cost no specified if your leader card is this starter deck leader or the old one. Add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, it gets 11,000 power for the turn. So it's a Self-Awaken 15k attack, and then activate main once per turn, Spirit Boost 1. Switch this card to active mode. So you get to attack twice, which is really good. Only you'll take 1 life, but it'll be a 15k dual attack essentially if you remove a marker from your unison. Now, I'm still not sold on Spirit Boost, but we'll see. I mean, I wasn't sold on Rejuvenation. I'm still not really sold on Rejuvenation, but it did work well with King Piccolo, so it may just be, it'll work really well with 1 or 2 decks. Next up, we have the Pride of the Saiyan starter deck. So we've got a new Vegeta red leader, which is really nice. This leader has an auto. When it attacks, draw a card and it gets plus 5k for the turn, so it's a 15k attack on unawakened side. When your life is at 4 or less, or you have a red unison card with a specified cost of 2 in play, you may switch 2 of your energy to active mode, add cards from your life to your hand until you have 5 life left. Choose up to 1 of your red unison cards with Cabba in its name and add a marker to it, then flip the card over. So it's such a really strong awakened skill, obviously with the Cabba that comes in this deck. Once it's awakened, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta Spirit Boost Elite. He has an auto. When he attacks, you draw 1 card, choose up to 1 of your red unison cards with a specified cost of 2 and no keyword skills, and it gains double strike for the turn. So you're able to give your unison double strike when you attack, which is really strong. Auto, once per turn, Spirit Boost 1. When your opponent attacks your red unison card with a specified cost of 2, negate the attack, then choose up to 1 of your unison cards and it gets 6,000 power for the turn. Just so strong. I mean, you're negating, using Spirit Boost, so you're taking a marker away, but it also buffs your unison card to 21k, makes it really hard to get rid of. Which you need because the Unison Super Saiyan Cabba Spirit Resonance has an auto of limit 1. When this card is placed in your drop area from your Unison area, choose 1 of your mono red leader cards and it gains plus 5,000 power for the turn. So it's just an extra little buff if he's removed. Plus 1, activate main, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or Unison cards and it gets minus 10,000 power for the turn. So really nice to be able to neg things, especially Unisons. Can remove things like the Demigod Unison with that, or make Unisons much easier to remove. He's got a -6 auto, which is really powerful, but it is -6, so it's not that easy to get there. If your opponent's life is at 3 or more, when your mono red Saiyan leader card is attacked, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So if you're attacking your opponent's leader when this is on -6, you're not doing a good job. So what you really want to be targeting this. The problem you're going to have is obviously the auto on the leader lets you lets you remove a marker from your unison to buff it, just making it so much harder to remove. The -6 auto is so powerful. That combined with the leader can really kind of destroy your opponent and stop their turn completely. Whether it's going to be good in other decks remains to be seen. I think it works really well with this leader, but getting to -6 in other decks might be a bit difficult. Now, the next card is Son Goku Spirit Boost Warrior. This is my favorite card from all of the reveals. It just seems like such a solid battle card for red, which we really don't have that many battle cards that are really solid for red in any archetype. He's got Deflect, Double Strike, and Dual Attack. And then if he's in rest mode and you have a red unison card with a specified cost of 2 in play, this card and the unison, and the leader get plus 1000 power. So it means your leaders are 16k, so your opponent has to get to 20k essentially to combo, to start pressuring damage, and this guy is a 21k, just so your opponent has to get to 25 to push him off. And the other thing is he has an auto once per turn on all copies of that card. Spirit Boost 1, when this card is placed in your drop area from your battle area by an opponent's skill or KO'd, you play this card from the drop area. It just makes it super powerful. It just reminds me of like an Abudi card. If you play this card and your opponent plays a Freezer counterplay, KO it, you can remove a marker just to play it back again. And you get that double strike dual attack. It's just really powerful. Just depends how well the Spirit Boost skill works. You really need to be able to give your unison lots of markers, which the leader obviously does, but we're going to need more than just that, the leader. The next is Surprise Attack Son Gohan. He's got an Activate Battle, which is almost like an Arrival. If you have 2 or more mono red battle cards in your combo area, you can tap 1 to play this card from your hand, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 10,000 power for the turn. So you can neg something during your opponent's turn, which is really nice, and get a 20k battle card for 1 energy. Can't complain about that. Now, Surprise Attack, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is the last card for this starter deck. It's a really nice artwork. Look at that. Really cool Vegeta flinging his fists everywhere. He's a unique critical. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, there's an auto when you remove a marker from one of your red unison cards using a Spirit Boost skill, you can play this card from your hand. So with so much Spirit Boost in this deck, you're really going to be able to get that out so easily. So I think it's a really nice addition. I think that this starter deck is very, very strong. This leader is very tuned, like over-tuned almost, with so many different skills that make it awesome. I'm keen to see what people bring out with this and what people think about making this deck. It really needs to be mono red, but it's really, really cool to see. Another nice thing about this is Yamcha Counterplay is included as a 2-of in this deck, which is very nice. It is not foil, it's a non-foil version. But those cards tend to be expensive, so it's really good to get it out there that way. And there's also the Trunks Overrealm DPR as well, which is not that hard to find, which is pretty hard to find, I should say. And that's it for those starter decks, guys. The last thing I really want to talk about today is the ban list. So a ban limit errata list is going to come out on the 17th of July, and according to Bandai, it's going to be a wide-ranging blanket style ban list. We don't really know what that means yet. There's heaps and heaps of speculation going around about what's going to be banned and things like that. I mean, I personally think that if anything, Dark Broly is going to get hit in some way, because that deck is just insane and just broken, really. I think the fact that it's still winning tournaments, it only just won a tournament the other day, just means that it's too overtuned. I mean, we have all these new decks that are really powerful, King Vegeta and things like that, and this just demolishes everything. Other stuff, maybe Vegex. I think now that we're in a new series with new starter decks coming out, I wouldn't be surprised if the Vegex leader is just banned, because it limits play design so much. They're having to put Saiyan only on all these black cards, as you can see. So that might happen, but I'm not sure if they want to do that. I feel like they definitely have neutered starter decks before. The Shenron starter deck, which I mentioned earlier, has been neutered by banning half the cards in it. So it wouldn't be surprising if they did just ban the leader, and I feel like that's the best thing they can do. They could even ban the leader and bring back some other cards that they banned, because the leader is just what made those other cards so bad. But all in all, we don't even know. Like, they could just be banning 15 cards, or just banning 5 cards, limiting a few and whatever, and it would be bigger. It would be bigger than normal, but it still wouldn't be that big. Or they could be banning 50 cards, and honestly, that's what I want. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see a massive ban list that really shakes up the format, because I'm just so over it, to be honest. All the free play is insane. it's almost like if your deck uses energy, you're going to lose. You need to be playing a deck that combos things from life, like King Piccolo, or just free plays everything from your drop. We need energy management to come back. We need to be able to be limited by our energy again, not just be able to play everything. Like even Overwhelm was strong before because you could play an extra card without paying energy, and now you can just do it your whole turn. You can have nothing, no resources, and just come back in a turn and destroy your opponent. So I really hope they address that in this ban limit errata list, and it'll be cool if we see some things like maybe Stealth come back to 4. You never know, but we'll see how we go. So Sydney has just gone into lockdown. I won't be able to be recording any games or anything for the next couple of weeks because COVID has just had another outbreak. I've got a bit of a cold myself, negative test, which is good. But I'll do my best to bring as much content as I can without being able to record anything. Thanks for watching another episode of the Saibamen News. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we will have some cool stuff happening this week. We'll have some more rulings and things like that, so keep an eye out. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting, guys. If you want to help support further, jump in the link in the description below to palmsoffgaming.com.au. Look for your grading needs, for your folders, for your binders, and put the code Saibamen in the checkout. It helps me out. It helps you out. You'll get 10% off. Really, really awesome. Thanks for watching again, guys, and enjoy.